Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, welcome to this, the first REDD Plus Academy being held in Yogyakarta in the Republic of Indonesia, one of the pioneers under the international REDD efforts that have been part of our response to climate change, but also in so many respects have transcended just the climate change agenda to being able to try and point towards ways in which we can, in one sense, mitigate the impacts of climate change. On the other hand, also work on co-benefits that are part of the central DNA, if you wish, of an evolving REDD Plus concept. This, the first REDD Plus Academy, is also groundbreaking because it brings together not only the original UN REDD partnership partners, the Food and Agriculture Organization, the United Nations Development Programme and the United Nations Environment Programme, but also our Indonesian partners and representatives and experts from universities around the world, such as Yale University and many others. It is our attempt at trying to bring the best expertise that we can mobilize across the planet together in one place in order to enable you as participants to have access to this knowledge, to draw on the lessons that we have learned in the years since we have begun this REDD Plus work, and also to draw on the expertise and in particular on the networks that the UN REDD partnership has been able to mobilize in recent years. We are now active in well over 50 countries, and with the Warsaw COP of the Climate Change Convention embracing the REDD Plus concept, we are truly at a point where many, I think, would not have believed we could be just a few years ago. Part of the challenge of trying to make REDD and REDD Plus come alive is that we are both addressing an imperative to act under great urgency, which is the issue of climate change and the release of greenhouse gases. And we still estimate that approximately 10% of greenhouse gas emissions on our planet are directly linked to deforestation. So we together are able and hopefully successful in addressing one of the major sources of emissions that are either going to determine whether a world can look towards a future still within a 2-degree scenario, or whether we are going to find ourselves in a losing battle. One of the fundamental design elements from the beginning of the UN REDD partnership was to first of all mobilize the best that the UN system can bring to such a challenge. Both from the perspective of FAO, UNDP and UNEP, I think we believe that we have succeeded in trying to make this partnership with a collective secretariat jointly deployed to truly deliver a good service to you as member states and REDD Plus partners. Let me also say that we have learned many lessons, and you as our partners are fully aware that not everything we set out to do we managed to do as we had intended. On the other hand, with well over 50 countries now engaged in the UN REDD partnership, we have a unique opportunity to do something that perhaps has never been attempted in this form and with this ambition before, which is the single largest effort at trying to address the issue of deforestation and to address the question of how we will secure the vital role that forest ecosystems play, not only in terms of the context of climate change, but indeed also with relevance to biodiversity, to livelihoods of local communities, to also the future existence of indigenous peoples and their traditions and their ability to play a constructive and integral role in the management of a significant part of this global forest estate. The REDD Plus Academy is also an attempt to try and bring you as practitioners and as experts and as policymakers and leaders in your countries together. We can learn a great deal from one another because in many ways reinventing the wheel every time in every country with every REDD Plus program is not the most efficient way to progress. While recognizing the differences and unique realities in each country, perhaps in each region within the country, we nevertheless have learned a great deal about the kinds of planning processes, participatory processes, but also the rollout and implementation approaches that are likely to be more successful than others. The REDD Plus Academy is therefore an invitation, but also a platform in which we can join hands, minds and experience in order to ensure that the window and the door that has been opened for REDD Plus to be a significant arena for climate action, but also for biodiversity-related action, for the linkage between development and environment and livelihoods, and also the question of how central government, local communities, indigenous peoples can join forces also with actors in the private sector and the commercial sector to ensure that we are truly moving rapidly towards a world in which deforestation will one day be a phenomenon of the past. That we are able to retool our economies, our national development policies, and also our systems of national accounting and even our forest management policies in a way in which we begin to not only protect forests, reduce deforestation, but take the notion of building natural capital, of expanding forest ecosystems, of restoring degraded forest lands as a true contribution both on the climate change front, but also to national development, to incomes and livelihoods. With these remarks, I wish you a very successful REDD+ Academy and look forward to not only receiving the feedback from this session, but also the guidance of how we can make the next Academy session hopefully an equally successful one as this one will be. Once again, thank you to our hosts in Indonesia, great pioneers and partners and leaders. It is partly through their risk-taking and also courage over the last few years that we have been able to move forward, as we now see also in many other countries, the idea of REDD from a stage of a hypothetical, theoretical concept to a driver, a catalyst, and hopefully also an economic factor that will allow us to have success stories to tell. Thank you.